I've had several guys ask me about, hey, I want to do this full time. I said, don't just jump off in it full time.
Yeah.
I had a fabrication shop for 20 years. When
So
I
you're
started,
already an established business.
yeah, and I started blacksmithing, combining the both for several years, and then I went full time about 2009.
Mm-hmm.
But I still had this shop running, and then the health situation got bad, so I just shut this one down. And some days, you're hungry, and some days it's feast or famine.
Yeah.
But it's not the easiest thing to do because there's not that many people looking for what I do.
Yeah.
The knife guys right now, they're booming.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for them, because that's a sort of a blacksmith trade. But don't too many people want like that ring thing,
Yeah.
and or certain, nobody wants door knockers anymore. So,
Yeah.
but there's certain things you can use, you can do that there are people that want, they still want this stuff.
Yeah.
But they're few and far between.
Do you think part of that problem is due to the fact that like designers and whatnot don't understand the resource that blacksmiths are or what
Yeah.
they can do?
A lot of it is that, I worked for several at one time, and they were always saying, what are we going to do when you quit?
Yeah.
And of course most of them quit
Yeah.
before me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I still do work, still do work for 2 or 3,
Yeah.
So, and then there's other things.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think it's if you want to be a blacksmith full time, you'd better learn how to be a good part-time blacksmith first.
Yeah, right,
And,
exactly.
And you better be willing to learn the business side of things just as much as the forging. But I've had pretty good luck with small items.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody likes making hundreds of hooks one
Oh.
after another, but it's sometimes that small stuff seems like there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah, I can't get into production.
Yeah.
I helped Al Stevens out one time, and I think I made 2,000 cheese cutters for him. I didn't have to put the wire on them, but I had to forge them out. And when he brought that last 500, I told him, I said, "This is it. Don't bring me any more
But you
of
could do
these."
them in your sleep when you're
Yeah,
done,
yeah.
couldn't you? Sometimes I catch myself sort of daydreaming, it seems like, about, like playing it over and over in my mind, something that I've done like that over and over and over again.
Yeah, I just can't get into production.
Yeah. I've learned to embrace it to a degree, like we talked about earlier in the meeting. And that's basically all that gets me through the production work I do is just trying to get better. But I don't think I could do 2,000 cheese cutters.
Yeah. Well, back when Tom Clark was alive, he was a good friend of mine, and he showed me how to make those Hoffy hammers. Of course, he made them too, and of course, I think he was selling them for $100, $110 back then. And I thought, man, that's okay. So I started making some, and after about 10 or 12, so I don't do hammers anymore.
Yeah.
I'll make one or two every now and then, or the kind like Brazil makes.
Yeah.
But I just can't get into production.
How would you describe what sort of products that you make?
Well, I've got a pot rack on the drawing board right now, and I've got some balcony. What do you call they go under a balcony?
Brackets?
Yeah, some kind of brackets.
Mm-hmm.
It's an existing balcony, but the guy that was building it didn't finish it, and it's all cut and welded. But they're redoing this house, so they want some of those under it, and got to forward some pretty big scrolls for that. And I do some vanity, for some houses, and like I say, light fixtures. And I got this. I don't even know how to explain this, but this guy's hired me to make it's a dome up in a ceiling, and it's got branches that's going to come down, and then a light fixture hanging in the middle of it. And he's going to gold leaf them. I did something similar, but it was on a flat roof a couple years ago for him. But this is up in a dome, you know, so I got to fit the inside of that dome. Just nothing I do is real easy.
Or standard.
Yeah, no. And I end up making you hear these guys say, need a tool, make a tool. Well, I do that all the time.
Yeah, I can see looking around your shop.
So you enjoy very custom work.
Yes.
Lots of variety.
Yes, and I really like it. I mean, people have asked me when I'm going to retire. My wife says, he's not going to retire. And so that's his man cave down there. He'll go down there if he wasn't making money.
Yeah.
How did you find a market with your work, or how did it find you?
Well, like I say, it was through those decorators. You know, I was doing handrails for new homes around here, and of course we did any kind of welding, but and you know, you'd be out at the home doing an install, and the decorator would be out there, and they can sell people anything. I don't know how they do it, but a decorator can
Well, when
sell
you hire
stuff.
a decorator, you're kind of hiring somebody to sell you things.
Yes. But
They
they
would
would
spend money.
Can you make these counter brackets under here, and pass through, do something like that? 'Cause they'd see some things, And I said, yeah, I can do that. So,
Did you ever have to spend any time like, basically knocking on doors of the decorators, or did you?
no,
Did you spend any time like doing projects on your own time to kind of build a portfolio and show them what you can do?
that's a lot of that stuff in the office is just,
I got you. Sample pieces.
yeah, see if I can do this.
Yeah.
And there were some people, I think it was in '98, built a huge house out in Holland East, and they wanted a forged handrail, and I just happened to be working for the lady that was their decorator, and she came to me and said, "Can you make them a handrail?" And I said, "Well, yeah, and I said, but I'm fairly new at this on the design end, so that's going to be my hard part." She said, "Well, I know a guy in Birmingham that's a designer. Well, he designs this rail, and she brings me a template or one sheet of paper and says, 'Can you make this right here?' And I looked it over. Yeah, and she said, "Well, he wants to see your work. He wants you to make this, and he wants to inspect it before he gives you his design." So I made it, and she took it to him and brought it back and said, "You got the job, and he wants to know how you got this so clean." He says, "His guys is rough, scaly." And I said, "I got a tumbler." So I did this massive handrail in this house, and I had to take it in pieces and bolt it together. Everything sat on the steps, and that was my first huge job, and that's sort of sent me towards all the decorators around
Yeah.
here.